So I think, Mr. Anime, I think you have the recap for last week for us, sir.
I do indeed.
I am looking forward to it. So let's hear it, and we will get going and continue where we left off.
Okay, last time the party had arrived at Reed Manor, and we had started to wander around the grounds, coming across a few things, such as a large lake, which we had to get across using a paddle boat of sorts. And also we came across a garage that housed quite a few classic cars that only Glitter was too stupid to properly appreciate. Once we got,
wow, that was harsh.
I like
we got
it, though.
to the main gate, I was just about to pick a lock in order to get in when Runcible, the cyborg teddy bear, showed up and forced us to play a rather childish game called Riddle Me Ree in order to actually get into the manor. For once, Grimrack actually came in handy and gave the correct answer immediately.
Wow.
Grimrack 2? I guess just you and me, buddy.
And once we got into the manor, we were continued to force to play stupid games. This time, it was called On Time and In Tune, in which only myself and Glitter were the only ones smart enough to actually stay silent, while Grimrack and the walking handbag known as Lester continued to oblige the annoying teddy bear.
Wow.
Eventually, Runcible left us alone, and we came across a locked door, which I kicked in, unbeknownst to me, destroying a few worthless dishes. And when we came across the entrance to the basement, we walked down the stairs, and eventually had to use a rope that Grimrack brought, since the stairs didn't go all the way down to the basement for whatever reason. Then, once in the basement, we came across an old storage room, where we found the busted robot dog of Dax, and Lester started to work on to see if he could get him up and running again, and that's where we stopped.
Very nice. Wow, kind of making friends this week there. Making friends, Thomas. I like that. All right, so this is where you guys are at still. You are at the storage area, and I'll pop open the mansion network map where you guys have already been to a numerous amount of places. Now, as Thomas has said, where we left off was Mr. Lester. He was just starting to plug all of his gadgets and electronical equipment into the USB ports of this small dog
David,
called
it's
Dax.
Actually Firewire. USB's kind of older technology.
Okay. Firewire. My bad.
Alright, no problem, man.
And you were trying to, I think you said that you were trying to recover data and also look at the internal memory of its, I guess, recordings. I think you were wanting to do.
Yeah, that's right. I think when we talked about that before, I was looking for. I wanted to kind of look through the dog's eyes, to figure out how he came to his position. So I was thinking of it kind of like a drone, right? As that drone's flying around, it's like a GoPro. It's like as it's dropping through the atmosphere, it's recording all this shit. So I'm looking for that so I can see what that dog did.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, give me as you start to fiddle with it, give me an intelligence computer check. Rather important check, I would imagine. But, like I said, you have a leftover from this week. And I see everybody has their. That's enough.
Well, now, Dave, I wore 4 shirts. Remember?
You did. You peeled them all off in layers.
I did.
I was actually rather impressed. I'll have to think of something special
for that.
I think
to get the bonus rolls, you have to wear them the whole time. You can't just take them off.
Oh well.
Put those layers back on there.
You'd be sweating like a whore in church, Grimrack. Alright, so your check is enough. You fiddle around with it. You kind of rewire. This thing had a dozen batteries, like I had mentioned last week. It's old technology from hundreds of years ago. So you get this thing wired with just 2 batteries. It powers up, and you're searching through its memory, and you find a whole string of different videos that are recorded with the eyes of this dog. And it starts. There's stuff. You find a couple. With just the boy and Dax kind of playing around. Then you see several videos of him actually being put together towards the earlier part of the video string by Arnon Reed, etc., etc. And there's also the very last video is quite a small video. Is that the one that you wanted to play as well, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I probably want to try to sort by, if it's possible, to sort by some kind of a timestamp in descending order, so I can see the last video.
Yeah,
and
that's
tree my way back. But
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly. They're all basically time stamped like that. Now, the last video, as you play it, you can see that the young boy is actually with Dax. And it seems like they're running, because Dax is behind the boy, and in front of him, running throughout all of the different chambers, they're running. And all of a sudden, they come to this room. All right? And when they come to this room, there are several boxes or crates that are stacked up. And the boy starts to, Voss's, not Voss's, but Arnon Reed's child, which his name was Hob. Hob starts to climb all of these crates and boxes.
And does it look like he's playing, or does it look like he's afraid of something?
No, because it seems like he keeps looking behind him. Several times throughout this video, he's looking behind him as the dog is continuing to run.
Like they're being tracked or something, right?
Yeah, or because there's no sound in this clip, and it's basically just video, and the boy's climbing up these crates, and he pushes the vent to the side, and the boy climbs up into the vent and disappears. And then after about another 10-15 seconds, the dog looks like is trying to jump up on the crates to maybe trying to follow his friend Hob. And then all of a sudden the camera just jitters and kind of like flashes in and out a couple times, and then as the dog kind of spins around, you can see that there's 2 human figures in these suits. And when I mean suits, sort of like a toxic type of suit. And they have these glass shields on and whatnot. And then one of them reaches up with like a metal bar or a sword or a hammer. You really can't tell because it happens so fast, and all of a sudden you see it swing, and then the camera just blacks out. And that's
all right.
That's the entire video.
I'm gonna show that video to everybody. I'll kind of parallel the display on my device, and then I'll kind of like a little iPhone, and then I'll show everybody kind of what I see. What do you think, you guys? What do you make from this? What do you think's going on? I'll look right to Thomas. Thomas, what do you think's going on here?
I think we need to be more careful than we realize.
Well, I think we need to go up into that vent. I point to where the boy had gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the dog fell from, I think.
Well, that's what. Yeah, the dog was trying to jump up onto the boxes and the crates, but yeah, over time, this has been a couple hundred years now. You can see the remnants of bits of wood and stuff to where these boxes and crates were probably stacked up. But now there is nothing but just the vent, and the vent is still closed. Of course, by now, a couple hundred years later, at least, the vent has like a like a rustic type of finish on it now. The paint's wore off. The entire storage room is just old. Damp. A couple small water puddles on the floor. You can hear some water dripping and whatnot coming out of the vent as well. You can see drips coming down.
Wow, okay, so obviously the dog died while trying to follow the kid, and then these people just pounded him. So why would there be anybody with these outfits in there? Knowing my history like I do, history roll, I'd like to see if I recognize these outfits. Are these something that I'll look under historical lore, or how about scientific lore, either way. Look to see, are these like these hazmat suits kind of like because of viruses, or maybe these hazmat suits are for protection from elements or environmental suits. I want to know if I know anything else about what the suits are that these guys have.
Okay. Yeah, you're not too sure with what you would roll. You're really not too sure. You're not too sure if it's something to deal with maybe a disease, or maybe something chemical or environmental. You're just not really too sure. I mean, they're old. It's old technology.
For me to really understand. My fear is and I might tell everybody, hope that we're not going to get infected by anything.
Well, if it was something serious, you guys have been here for, I'd say you've probably been here about, probably about 6 hours or so. And nobody feels any differently, actually.
Well, just to be on the safe side, I think we should put the most dispensable member of the group in the lead. Thomas,
You go first, Glitter.
Thomas, why don't you check that vent out a little more closely?
Yes, I agree. Get close to the vent, Thomas. See anything?
It's not a huge vent per se. Any of you can fit up into the vent, but it is a little bit smaller. So someone smaller would probably have
Thomas is
an
like
easier time.
Like a halfling would be good. Probably not a dwarf.
I'm a gnome, and he's shorter
sturdy.
than me.
Yeah,
He would
I
fit
remember
right in there.
to be a halfling with raptor arms.
DC 610. This is TitansGrave.
Excellent.
So is there enough debris? Now, so this vent is on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough debris that we could stack up and kind of make a makeshift ladder to get up there? Or is there any way to reach the vent with what we've got?
Are you wanting to go into the vent, Grimrack, to check it out?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, there is rubble, because this place had somehow kind of sustained a natural type of cave-in or earthquake. So yes, there's enough rubble and broken metal from the staircase and whatnot to where you could, pile it up. Take you a little bit.
Well,
probably take you about 15, 20 minutes.
I'm a dwarf, so yeah, I get going. I start building kind of this rock cairn and kind of building it up so we can get to the vent.
A really nice staircase that you can ascend with rails, handrails.
Oh yeah, I've got a safety rail on there. You bet.
Stairway to heaven. Yeah.
So I start doing that. I don't know what the rest of you guys are doing.
Okay, so it'll take you about 15, 20 minutes to do so. Thomas, what are you doing in this time?
I guess I'm getting ready to go up into the vent.
Glitter, how about you?
Getting ready to. For 15 minutes, you just staring at the vent? Or are you like
He's
doing
getting
some
hyped.
exercises?
He's
He
getting
is.
some.
He's like
He's
gonna
getting
come
hyped.
out.
He's like,
Satisfied that Thomas is
shrugging
going to
his
be the one
shoulders.
going.
He's
I'm going to be over the
tilting
corner
his head
filing
back
my
and
nails.
forth. Oh my God, you've got to look good, Glitter. Yeah.
That's right.
Lester,
Like,
what
are
are you
any
doing
of you
during the
lazy
sun?
chumps gonna help me or
Ooh.
what?
Guess if there's 15 minutes to kill, I'll just rub one out, Dave. No, I'm just joking.
Lester goes over to the corner.
No, I mean, I don't know. I guess my big thing is I'll probably go back through some of that video and try to see some other things that might jump out at me.
Well, what do you see?
I'm a little nervous. I'll be honest with you. I'm not so worried about being sick or getting any kind of disease because I'm a saurian. So I would figure that I'm like a salamander, and that you guys, if I kissed you, you could get salmonella, right? Just like in real life. That's why you're not supposed to kiss iguanas when you're at the beach in Jamaica. If that ever comes up, keep that in mind. So I figure that I've got potential for salmonella continually. So I'm not so worried about me, but I am a little worried about my my group here because they're not as intelligent or as strong as I am. So I'm going to go ahead and review the footage to see if there's anything else that I might have missed. Plus, I probably would have uploaded Pokemon Go to my device just in case, I wanted to see if there's a...
Just in case you wanted to annoy some people on Twitch, is that why?
Yeah, well, that would be a good one, but there might be a Jigglypuff or a Pikachu somewhere, so I need to just always double check is my motto.
What was that rare one that, kind of going out of character here, there was a video that I saw in New York in Central Park, some rare spawned, and literally there were hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 people going to this place. It was absolutely ludicrous looking.
I think it was a Boobachu.
People leaving their cars in the middle of the street, getting out of their car, and running over the spot. I mean, it was just crazy. My son went up to the park the other night and said there were like 100 people at the park at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, wow.
I know. I just go there to buy drugs, but now I go there to play Pokemon.
Yeah. All right, so you find some other footage. I mean, what do you see, Lester? I mean, there's all kinds of, footage from when Dax was first created all the way until this last video when he was. I mean, there's literally thousands of video clips.
Yeah, is there any clips where the dog is licking himself?
All right. Do you need me to make you some wallet sizes of those, or string those?
Just curious.
Virtual
as a robot dog, I don't know.
Guess if you're getting a robot wood for a robot dog, I don't know, man. I think what I mostly. I don't know. I think I'd find a lot of stuff of the kid and the robot playing, and I guess I can ascertain that this child Hob, loved his pets.
I will tell you this, that I will tell you what you do notice, especially towards the end of the timestamps. It seems like most of these videos are just Hob and Dax. No Arnon Reed, no Lissel. There are some with Runcible as well, but Mom and Dad, nowhere to be found. And you notice this.
So it's like potentially this kid was left alone while his parents died, and these pets, these robot pets, had to kind of raise him. That's a bit odd. I might want to raise. I'll tell everybody that as well. But
I bet that kid turned out to be a psycho.
Do you think he's a psycho?
I bet. Hey, all right, Thomas. This pile of rocks looks like it's tall enough. You can reach that vent now. Go ahead and poke your little head in there and see what you can see.
Okay.
You can definitely reach it, Thomas. You don't have any problem getting up it. You've been planning that all day, Lester?
I am. That's me.
That's in his database of wisecracks. That's what he was trying to get back up because he lost the data for that.
I know. I had no jokes left, Dave.
He was tapping into the blogosphere, Ben Cooper style. All right. So, Thomas, you are climbing up to the top of this. The grate is kind of... you have to use a little bit of force, Thomas, but it's kind of like... I want to say it's just kind of gummed up, just kind of gunked up over time, because there is some water dripping off, and there's some slight iron deposits and stuff where the water's just been dripping off for quite a while. But you eventually get this, this grate pushed over to the side, and you stick your head up in there, and it's like a shaft of some kind, and it's metal, of course. It's got sludge in it from moisture and whatnot. But it goes one way. It seems like it just goes one way. This vent.
Probably smells like ass in there.
Not the good kind.
It's got like a very musky smell. Yeah.
So no different than glitter?
No, snap!
Wow.
You've just been Thomased.
Yeah, I start making my way up the thing to the grate and wait for him to enter.
Do you need me to boost you too?
I'm gonna give him one for that. That was a good one. That was really good. I like that. So, Thomas, are you climbing up in this thing, or what?
Yeah, I guess so, since everyone else is too chicken to do it.
Well, that
Alright.
kid went somewhere, Thomas. Keep going.
Yeah,
And
let me know.
I'll follow him up the.
Oh
Okay.
wait! I'll follow him.
Yeah, Thomas,
Okay.
you let me know what you find. Just give us a shout out or something if you see anything crazy.
Okay. So, you start crawling through this vent. You go for quite a while, and all of you outside, Lester and Grimrack, you two, the two scaredy cats that are outside.
Well,
You
I'm
can-
outside for sure.
Well, you can
Hey,
hear
Dave.
them rustling around, both Glitter and Thomas, in this vent way. Yes, Glitter.
Lester, I think they're getting it on, man. Can you hear them?
At one point, I accidentally set off one of my glitter cannons in Thomas's direction.
How does that go there, Glitter? I mean,
Damn, my backpack hit came undone and hit the side of the vent just the wrong way.
so
I
this
just shot-
Roman candle shoots about 12 lighted orbs your direction, kind of going between your legs and whatnot, your arms, because you
Yeah.
are on all fours, kind of crawling around, and these Roman...
they're like little mini sparklers, so they burn like hell.
Yeah. You get some sparkage action on your arm. You don't take any damage or don't get hurt, but it does
But you
light the
kill
corridor. And it's about a nice 20 to 25 foot, and then it veers off to the right. And both of you, by now, you're getting just covered with sludge, and your clothes are getting wet, and you make a turn. And Thomas, you're the first one around the corner, and you can see that there is another grate. But this grate is flat against, the end of this corridor. It's not on the floor like how you came up into this vent. So you crawl to the end of the shaft, Glitter and Tail, right behind you, and you get to the end of the shaft, and there is just another plain grate. And it's dark inside. There's no light. You see absolutely no light source.
Alright, so, let's see if we can get this grate open. Maybe kick it a few times. See if it be of some use, Thomas. Knock that down. Knock that grate out of the way.
Thomas, just before you're looking to, remove the grate, you start to hear a familiar sound. You can hear Runcible. And you can
If I
hear...
see him, shoot him.
You don't see him, you just hear, because like I said, it is pitch black in this room, because you're like looking out of the grate, and it is literally pitch black, and you can hear very lightly, "It's okay, it's okay. They'll come back for us. They'll come back for us. It's okay."
Oh no. This is not going to end well after 200 years.
But you can
Right.
just barely You can just barely hear that, Thomas.
Alright, I cast
I'm
my.
out which way it's coming from.
Yeah, from the obviously there's definitely a room in front of you.
I cast my light spell on Thomas's head. And
On his eyes.
stick your head in there, Thomas.
So what
I can't
are you
see.
wearing a helm or anything like that, Thomas, or would you like
I'm wearing
to
a
cast
sword,
it
yeah.
on maybe one of the small stones or something like that or
Alright,
maybe a couple of
alright.
the marbles
All
maybe.
right, I guess.
Ruin my fun, god damn it.
But if you want to cast it on his head, I have no problem with that. I mean, are you wearing a helmet or what, Thomas? Sorry, my voice is breaking up. My bad.
Dave, you're cracking up. I guess you're going to Liberty.
I
No,
think I
I'll
might
cast
be.
it. I'll cast it on a stone. I mean, how are there like slots in this grave? Can I like
Sure.
shove the stone through?
Yeah, you can put one of the pebbles through the grate. Yeah. Wow, sorry guys, my voice is messing up.
So I can see what I'm doing. I kind of push it through the grate.
All right. You push it through. You
Yep.
hear the rock hit the floor, and it illuminates the entire room. Now, when you do this, Runcible is in like a bed. All right, it looks like a very small chamber, and there's a bed, and Runcible's is laying down against the bed, and as both of you are kind of looking out of this grate, you hear the gears in the head of Runcible just ring as his head turns right towards the grate and is now staring at you. You know, he Runcible says, "Oh, I'm very tired. I want to be tucked in. I'm tired."
Well, we'll tuck you in, Runcible. Why don't you open this grate for us from your side? We'll come in and tuck you in.
You have to sing it.
I'm too tired. Runcible just wants to go to sleep.
All right, Runcible. I can see if you can kick this grate open, Thomas.
Yeah, it pops off. Yeah, you can just kind of
Alright.
push it. And it kind of snaps. It's got
I
some
kind
snaps.
of pull myself. I kind of like scrunch past Thomas, get him away, get into the room. I'm like, actually, what I'm doing, Dave, is I'm rubbing all the dirt off of me onto him as much as I can.
Okay. Well, there's like
And
a rung ladder that's on the wall, coming from the exit of the this crawl space that you're going through. As you're rubbing up against Thomas and wiping yourself off, that's pretty cool. That's pretty funny. I like
And
that.
so I'm making my way into the room with Runcible.
Okay, so do you pick up the stone or anything, kind of hold it, or because
Yeah,
it
I
is
do.
still pretty dimly lit? All right, now as you go inside of this room, it looks like it is just maybe like a very small. It's definitely a hidden chamber because the only way into this room is from the ladder that is rung onto the wall, and there's a bed. There's a couple old collapsed boxes that have just basically collapsed on top of each other over time, and it has a very horrible smell. Not I don't want to say horrible. I mean, it just has a very musky smell. And as you're getting closer and Runcible's there, you notice that in the bed there is also some clothes kind of laid out. And as you get a little bit closer, there's a skeleton in these clothes. And you kind of
As I'm
look
gasping.
closer, you can see the hair, and it's blonde hair of what Hob had.
Oh my god.
That's sad news.
Yeah,
All right.
So Runcible says, "Me and Hob, we're tired and we just want to go to bed.
Okay. All
We've
right.
been here a long time, and it's time for us to be tucked in for bed.
Alright, so even though I'm very grossed out by the fact that